guys, I hope you have a good day. Today I'm not going to talk about strategy anymore. We made a playlist about it. I am going to expand upon it and make sure I teach everything that I know about strategy. But right now you have the basics done. Like if you watch the videos, I made 5 videos and they're about what strategy is and everything that I want to talk about. And we have stakeholder analysis, internal analysis, external analysis, and resilience analysis. Even after you watch those 5, you have all you need to start your strategy analysis. I'll find it over here. But aside from that, I want to rant a bit. I have so much to rant about. I mean, when it comes to business, you don't have to know, you need to know the news, yes, but it's not the most important part. What you need to know more, sometimes more than what's happening right now and what are the news and what's going to happen tomorrow, is what happened before. So to define a trend, to find a trend, and to understand what tomorrow holds for us, we need to understand what yesterday was about. So we need to find this trend and pattern and try to find out, oh yeah, this is where it's going to end up. Let me give you an example. Okay, something that people have forgot in 2025 is that, well, X used to be called Twitter, right? And Twitter was a failing social media company. By failing, I mean they were losing income, and it was a huge deal, and everybody knew about it, and everybody was talking about it. Twitter is one of the biggest social media companies, and it's losing money. They didn't have any strong monetization plans. They still don't, but yeah, that was the problem. They didn't have enough income for to pay back their investor, so they had problems with that. And along came Elon Musk saying, "I'm gonna buy this. I want to buy it." And he made a offer. They accepted it. The offer was too much. He thought he thought he overpaid for it, so he didn't want to buy it initially. He wanted to back out. They sued him for it, and then he was forced to pay the amount that he promised initially, which was a whole ordeal. And people were talking about, oh, it was a big mistake, and some people were like, no, he's a genius, he knows what he's doing, oh my god, oh, like, come on. It's in reality, it's somewhere in between those two things. Look, it was a huge mistake. It was overpriced, and he did pay over for what he was buying. If that wasn't the case, then he wouldn't have gone back on his word, and they wouldn't have sued him over him not willing to pay up, basically. It was a mistake. But when you are worth billions of dollars, you can turn anything into opportunity. Like, let's think about the Boring Company. The Boring Company is a company that hasn't made anything, basically. They made the flamethrower, if I remember correctly, and a chainsaw. but the company is about boring on the ground. So we can drive through a tunnel instead of driving through traffic. What? 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 Think about it. It's like when you're thinking in three dimensions, you think, oh, driving is too cumbersome. I wish I could drive underground instead. You know, up there you have more freedom of movement in the air, and there are so many vehicles um, that have been made even before Boring Company was a thing. But the crazy part is Tesla makes electric engines, already makes cars, and has the most chance of actually making a perfectly functioning VTOL. But no, Xpeng has to do it instead. The Chinese have to take care of that. Why we have to bear in the US? You have to burrow inside the earth. Yeah, that's the path. Yeah, right, correct. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Genius, though, right? Yeah, but through this dumb idea comes a genius opportunity. You know, all the infrastructure that we have is underground. Already it's on the ground. The water that comes in, the water that goes out, it's called sludge or something, waste, water that goes out, no, that's better. They're on the ground. The electricity that comes in is underground, the gas comes is underground, everything we don't want to look at we put underground. So this tunnels that they're boring through is the best uh, way to actually install and manage infrastructure, the civil infrastructure like water pipes, gas pipes, electricity, internet, fibers, everything. And this is the opportunity for the boring company that has made absolutely nothing tangible, except for a small tunnel they made that you have to drive. No, you cannot even drive in it. Mm. They made a test tunnel, and you have to drive slowly in it, and so slow that going through traffic would be better. But anyway, let's not get bogged down by the minor details. Sure. Yeah. Genius. Mm. Mm. Yeah. Yeah. So you see, it can be something so dumb can be turned into an absolute opportunity. Now, having the best way to distribute these essential things like water, electricity, and fuel and everything, mixing to one turns you instantly from one innovative company that creates stuff into something the country itself depends on, not just economically, not just socially as a, you know, an idol of sorts in business, but something that they actually tangibly need you. If they rely on you to deliver basic needs of basic human needs and distribute things like water and electricity and energy and internet. Hmm? Now take this back to case of X or Twitter. Twitter on itself is a social media company. Social media functions as a place that turns us flesh stacks into data, and then they use the data that they have and turn it into pop. Yeah, it's not just Facebook that's doing it. Every single one of them are doing it. Yes, everyone, everyone. Google is doing it. Um, China's WeChat is doing it. Snapchat is everyone, every single one of them. It's not just Facebook. Facebook is the bad guy that we know of. Every single one of them are actively taking our data and turning it into profit. Why else would we do this? Why else would they let us upload gigabytes, megabytes of files onto their incredibly expensive and powerful computing servers so that I can show my cousin, hey, look at the food I made, like on it, comment on it. It's it's not about that. It is absolutely cost inefficient. If we're just saying like, oh, they're gonna show ads, no, it's incredibly cost inefficient. Saying that, oh, they already need to have those computing that much computing power for other things, so why not use it for this? Yeah, but no, it, it, it it's inefficient, man. It just is. It's too much to compute for no reason. It's inefficient. Right now, this YouTube video that you're watching is incredibly inefficient for Google. So let me upload this many videos. My videos are like 2, 3 gigabytes, each and every one of them after I export them, and I don't export it in 4K. I do it in 1080p, and it's like 3 gigabytes each and every one of them. Think about it. Millions of people are using this platform. It's inefficient, just inefficient. Then why are they doing it? Because they can turn it into data that they can feed it to their AI, like Gemini, like Grok and Meta, and they can take advantage of it that way. And that's it. The main business of being a social media is not the main thing that drives income. The idea of, oh, you're going to pay for to have your blue tick over there. No, we're not there to have a blue verification tick and after next to our names. We're there to enjoy content and share content. So that's not a valid way to make money. What is? Turning you and me into data and then using that data to make money. I have heard a lot of people ask me like, "Hey, you call yourself a strategist? Are we going to be replaced by AI?" No, there are a lot of YouTube shorts and TikToks and stuff about it. There's astronomer, astrophysicist, guy named Neil, I think. He was talking about how when cars came, we changed them with carriages super fast. Well, yes, cars took carriages, not horses. Horses are still a thing. I mean, they exist. They didn't go extinct. We still ride them for sports and for fun. We or leisure. We do, but we don't have to, and that's the point. We don't have to ride horses because riding a horse was a thing on itself. Like it needed um, training and everything on. It was a whole ordeal. It was a whole um, thing for itself, and now people don't have to do that. People don't have to grow up with a horse to develop trust with the horse to feed it and clean its feces and all that. It just you don't do that. Just step inside the car, turn around the key, and just go. And you can learn how to drive in less than a year. Back then, you might have needed like two, three people to drive a carriage. Now you don't. You just need one. You just need one driver to drive a sedan. You need one driver to drive a supercar. You still need that same one driver to drive a whole bus full of people. A carriage could never deliver from A to B, but a bus can. So, yes, AI is the car in this analogy, and we are the horses, basically. Now, our jobs are the horses. Yes, some of them are going to be replaced. Some of the jobs that can be replaced will be replaced. But how do you say one job can be replaced and another cannot? A position in one company might absolutely need a human connection. Customer services is one of the first places to go, and it is going. But sometimes, in some cases, the human connection is an absolute necessary, and this customer support is still going strong. Now, a lot of people in customer services are going to lose their job. A lot have you lost their job, and a lot will lose their job as AI gets more and more sophisticated. Now, these people need to learn new skills. But customer service will not disappear, will not get replaced. People will not be replaced with AI. The worst case scenario, the best that AI can do is to lower the time that you work. Meaning, like if you're working two shifts, you're not working one shift. If you're working 9 to 5, it's 9 to 1 now. That's all that AI can do, and you can just realistically let it happen. Because think about it, if you're using AI and you're 9 to 5, 10 to 9 to 1, and the rest of it you can either go home or rest or go work somewhere else or fulfill another function within that same company. It's in the company's best interest to let you do that. Why? Because I can stretch my work from 9 to 5, the same 9 to 1 work that I do every day. I can stretch it from 9 to 5, and while that's not particularly a bad thing, except for everyone. It doesn't just harm the company and doesn't just harm me. It harms everyone that has anything to do with this process. That process that coming from A to B has a bunch of inputs and a bunch of outputs. If all of us are stretching our job to fit this 9 to 5, now we are putting outputs way slower than we actually could. And these outputs are someone else's input. I'm putting the output and I have to get the input. So this 9 to 5 turns into 9 to 7. We have to actually start uh, staying overtime to finish the same thing. That we're just slowly stretching to make sure that we're working 9 to 5 and we're getting paid. And the company isn't yelling at us. But that again affects the company work as well. Now, if on the other hand, efficiency was a big thing, and the company was putting emphasis on not just how much you work in time, but how much you work in your tasks. Like, okay, these are your daily tasks, and you can go home whenever you finish. And if you want to do more, if you want to get another task and do other jobs, you can. Then the company on itself becomes extremely fast and extremely efficient. And you can do that with AI and you can control that with AI. I mean, the same amount of work is being done in a fraction of the time. That's profit for you, the company. And because you're already paying this guy a base amount, the rest of it wouldn't be as expensive. And he now stays with the company because for longer because I was getting paid like X amount. Now I'm getting paid X plus Y. There is no place that can pay me that much or is willing to pay me this much. Why would I go? So the way we do business, we have to be more focused on efficiency and organization and optimization. We need to optimize whatever we're doing based on our tools. Because again, let's go back. Before we had Excel sheets, we had calculators, digital calculators, if you remember them or not. And before that, we had mechanical calculators. Uh, I saw one, and and I worked with that. It was really fun, confusing but fun. And before that, people had to do calculations with an abacus or something. Now those people had to do accountants had to do this calculations in their head. Now they had to be really good accountants. Then someone made this gonna calculator, and what happened to those people? Did they stop being accountants? No, they're still accountants. They were. Wait. And what happens next when they created small digital calculators? Like the people who were used to doing this to the calculator couldn't do accounting anymore? Of course they could. They knew how accounting worked. Now they don't have to do math in their head. They have more time to do accounting. The main thing, accounting. And then Excel came along. The people who had calculators in their hands, they didn't get replaced by Excel. They just had more time to do actual accounting because now they don't have to write things down. The calculations happen right there, and right then inside the sheet itself. And now there's AI. It's not going to change. Yeah, it's going to change a lot of things, but it's not going to change your work. The workflow might be more efficient, and you might have more time to actually do your actual job and not do, you know, unimportant side things that weren't ever a part of your job to begin with. But yeah, yeah, let's look at some examples. Look, like what I told you before, as a strategist, I had to make a whole bunch of reports, and all of them had to be directed to somebody, and I needed to please someone, and it needed to be, you know, meticulous and stuff. And I don't want to do that. That's not my job. My job isn't to please people. My job is to write strategies to please businesses, not people. So in that effort, I can use AI and take advantage of it and get it to, hey, write something and kiss that guy's ass. I can do it. And this gut wrenching the piece of my work that makes it uh, low because I really don't want to do it. I have to do it, and keyboard. Hello. How does this thing? How I hope this letter finds you well. I mean, I found you this on a line, but anyway, how are you doing it with this? You get what I mean? It just it feels like scratching your soul when you're trying to do something you don't want to do. But you can put that task um, over to AI, and then you have more time to do actually what you enjoy. So I don't think AI will replace um, even jobs. I think it can replace tasks, but not jobs. Like how? At least at some point, at least not now. Some point it might be good enough to do things and fast enough to get results, but we're not there yet. Again, we need to have a good memory and remember things, remember where things came from. Like remember, have a good memory. Remember that hey, before Excel and before computers, they were accounting, and now that's still accounting. Their job is different, and the tools that they use is different, but the function is the same. The input is the same, the output is the same. And in some other jobs, output and input changed, but job and the function didn't. And in some points, some jobs, everything changed. Essentially, like there was product management, and then there was agile and scrum, and then there is product owner, which is same but different. Like again, product explain for the short term. Product management plus agile parentheses Scrum equals product owner. That's it. If you do your product management stuff in Scrum, all of those that you can do in Scrum, then you're a product owner. And what about the things that you cannot do in Scrum? You just don't do them. Anyway, so AI is not going to replace us, and it's a long way. It has a long way to go on a technical basis, okay, not on a timeline basis, because as we've seen, like these things, they are growing crazy. Like the thing that they need to get there might happen like next week. We don't know, but there's a ways away to being able to replace a genuine human reaction, and that's necessary, because in business we're not making business with bots, we're making business with people, and this people relationship is important, at least to some people. Now, big companies bet on this AI revolution big. Like I remember some companies like Blizzard, Activision, the gaming companies that Microsoft owned, they fired thousands of people, and then they started publishing games. Now these games weren't as good as before, like they were kind of as good as they were, but they weren't revolutionary. All the revolutionary stuff was gone, and they were just good enough. So, and I didn't just see this once, it kept happening in every company that massively fired people in order to replace them with AI. The spirit of improvement kind of went away. My reasoning for that is, look, a really good AI system, and keep the status quo and keep people satisfied 100%. Not all of them. All the people who are actually your, audience, your actual customers. In a case of, let's try to turn it into a customer relation case. If I'm a guy and I'm at the customer relations and I am customer support and I'm talking to you, I'm talking to X, I'm talking to Y, if you are actually my audience, you're kind of satisfied. Let's say like 80% satisfied from me. If you're not my audience, I can still get you to be satisfied because I'm a person and you're talking to me as a person. I can get you to be barely satisfied. I can get you to the 40% threshold that's enough to, it's too much hassle to log out. So yeah, whatever. I might not be able to satisfy the audience 100%, but I will be able to get the people who aren't the real audience to a least bit satisfied place. Now, when I get fired and get replaced with AI, That AI is designed to keep the audience satisfied 100%, and it does even better job than I can. But it cannot maintain the satisfaction of the other targets, the other people that are not our main target and are sort of kind of pissed. So try to enlarge that and put it in every facet that can add AI into. And AI has been replacing people into like, yeah, we can do it 100% successfully. Yeah, 100%, yeah. But then they cannot maintain that success for everyone. Not everyone. So ultimately, while these AI are saving a lot of money by trading human working hours, human resources that which are expensive with CPUs that already exist in so many places, that drives the costs down a lot. Yeah, but also on the other hand, they're losing market. Let's look at Ubisoft. Ubisoft is churning out generic stuff. I don't know. Mirage was kind of good, but that was almost like the last human-made game. The look at the other one, the next one, like the last one in Japan. Right? On the other hand, like all these games. I mean, I remember games getting more and more and more innovative. Like they got this. I remember listening to the keynote on Unreal Engine, the new Unreal Engine, and I was like, oh my god, they're going to blow this thing up and it's going to be awesome. Because all the game companies would just take advantage of the newest technology and just go berserk on it, go nuts on it. But nothing. The only thing that I saw that was kind of close was GTA 6, and they don't use Unreal. They just use their own gaming engine. All the games that I've seen, they're just trying to keep with the same shtick. Keeping the status quo. So why? On the other hand, you see games like Helldivers 2 that they come up and just blow up. Alwol come up, blow up. And these are niche companies. These are indie companies that are finding ground in the market. In a market that these big companies would never allow them to find ground. Never. This is mine. Go back. But we see it happening. And this is the thing that I'm witnessing, not just in gaming, in all the industries that I can see. From what I can see, I can see this. These companies with AI are sacrificing market volume to profit. They will be more profitable. Yes, they don't have to have dominion over more market, and that means less flop marketing and more direct and more focused approach. This means they have to let go of some stuff. And now this part that they just let go opened up. And if a company is agile enough, or like an indie game company or a startup basically was agile enough to come and get this place, they will be successful and they'll make millions. So companies, big companies, to some degree have to sacrifice their market share for market profitability if they want to bet big on AI and robots and stuff. And that will give breathing room to small companies and startups to come up and gain some of the massive amount of market that these giants were taking for themselves. And that's a good thing. Smaller companies give rise to more choices and more innovation, and it can end up as to make some dynamic changes within the economy, and the big companies won't stop them like that, because one of the two will happen. Either the company will be bought by these big companies, big ones, giants, to get this bought by them, or one in a million, this one company comes and joins the big one, which is highly unlikely, but it might happen. And companies, then they have learned that it's not a bad thing to let someone else come in, as long as they're not directly competing with us. So AI will make things faster. Everything faster. AI can make this change come about faster. AI can help more people start their own startups and serve the niche market. But at the other end, AI is not that high quality. It cannot replace you. And on the other end, that's not how economy works. Economy isn't based on delivering tasks, it's based on delivering value. We as humans created money as a tool to express value. If value isn't generated and if value isn't cycling through economy doesn't work. Therefore, people need to still work. This idea of a minimum pay with it looks kind of so like a socialist thing. I don't know. idea, while valid in some points, is not going to change the fact that people need to work for the economy to grow, because we need to exchange values, and we cannot create values, cannot have our tools create values for us. They simply cannot. To understand that, you need to understand what a value is. And I'm going to talk about that in another video. But for now, thank you for listening to my rant. And thank you for watching my videos. Again, if you watched my other videos, you need to kind of watch all of them, or you feel lost. Sorry about that. It is 2 years of my life spent learning strategy and management, condensed in a couple of videos. So there's a hierarchy to it. You need to keep going and watching it in that order until you get it. So anyway, thank you. As always, please like and subscribe. And please do, because it's just a button for you, and it's really important for me. It really helps me. Thank you.